let's dive right into one of the most enduring and honestly most destructive mysteries in human history. Today, we're unpacking how a blind, centuries-long lust for gold caused explorers to completely miss the true, literal miracle hidden deep within the Amazon.
Just listen to this. You need have no fear of any failure. That haunting, wildly confident line was written by the legendary British explorer Percy Fawcett to his wife in May of 1925. This was right before he literally stepped off the map and into the relentless, uncharted Amazon jungle, searching for a massive, advanced civilization he simply called Z.
Well, despite that supreme confidence, just days after sending that letter, Fawcett, his son Jack, and their friend Raleigh vanished into the jungle forever. Poof, gone. And what makes his disappearance so captivating is that Fawcett was really just the latest victim in a 400-year epidemic of madness. I'm talking about a deadly, all-consuming obsession with the mythical lost city of El Dorado. So to understand why so many men willingly walked into the jungle to their deaths, we've got to look at where this whole story actually begins.
Part 1. The Golden Man. Let's look at the true origin of the El Dorado myth.
To understand how wildly out of control this legend got, we need to rewind to the 1530s, specifically to the mountains of present-day Colombia. Because get this, the origin of the myth wasn't a sprawling city of gold at all. It was just a single guy. Spanish explorers heard these incredible tales of a very real coronation ceremony of the Muisca people. Whenever a new chief came to power, he went through this breathtaking ritual. First, he was isolated in a cave. Then he was coated in sticky resin and covered from head to toe in gold dust, creating El Hombre Dorado, literally the Golden Man. He'd sail out on a raft into the center of the sacred lake Guatavita, toss precious golden figurines and emeralds into the water as offerings to the gods, and finally dive in to wash the gold dust off his skin.
And you know, this perfectly captures a tragic cultural clash. For the indigenous Muisca people, gold wasn't money. It wasn't about getting rich. They valued it for its spiritual beauty, its connection to the sun god, and the simple fact that it doesn't corrode. It was perfect for religious art and offerings. But the conquistadors, wow, they saw gold as absolute, world-conquering power. To them, it was hard currency to buy armies, influence, and global wealth back home in Spain.
Which brings us to part 2, the epidemic of greed. This is where a ritual turns into a phantom city.
Because the Spanish colonizers simply couldn't wrap their heads around a society that would just throw wealth into a lake, their imaginations ran wild. They convinced themselves there had to be a massive hidden empire somewhere deeper in the jungle hoarding the real stash. The myth quickly blew up into a continent-wide epidemic of greed. You can actually see this obsession in the increasingly ridiculous, centuries-long attempts to literally drain the sacred Lake Guatavita. In 1545, they tried emptying it using a giant human bucket chain, managing to drop the water just 10 feet. By 1580, an entrepreneur tried cutting a massive notch into the mountain to drain it, which tragically collapsed and killed his workers. Jump all the way to 1898, and a British company actually used a steam pump to completely drain the lake. But the exposed mud just baked in the sun, hardened into concrete, and permanently trapped whatever gold was left. Every single attempt ended in spectacular failure.
It's so clear that the myth of El Dorado became a deadly virus. Just look at the disastrous outcomes for these seasoned explorers. Gonzalo Pizarro's men were reduced to eating their own horses and saddles to survive the jungle. Francisco de Orellana was swept down the entire Amazon River after a mutiny. Lope de Aguirre literally lost his mind, murdering his commanders and even his own daughter. And the famous Englishman, Sir Walter Raleigh, he was ultimately executed by the King of England after his botched El Dorado expedition caused a massive international incident. They all suffered starvation, madness, and death in completely fruitless searches.
But here is the ultimate historical irony. The Spanish were so hyper-focused on this lust for yellow metal that they literally threw fortunes away. While digging for gold, they'd constantly unearth rare, uncorrodable platinum, a metal the indigenous people were already working with. The Spanish didn't recognize it, dismissively called it unripe silver, and literally dumped it as scrap into the ocean. They were completely blind to the actual diverse value of the new world that was staring them right in the face.
Moving on to part 3, Fawcett's Lost City and the 20th century quest for Z.
Fast forward to the 1920s. Elite mapmaker Percy Fawcett read those old conquistador accounts, like Orellana's journals, which vividly described massive populations along the Amazon. Fawcett became entirely obsessed with finding a highly advanced, lost civilization in the Brazilian Mato Grosso, the one he called Z. But he faced huge pushback.
The main scientific question of the era was the Amazon's soil simply too thin and acidic to support a massive civilization? Fawcett's scientific peers openly mocked him for this. They argued that the Amazon's harsh environment and incredibly nutrient-poor soil could never ever support a dense agricultural society of tens of thousands of people. To them, it was an absolute ecological impossibility.
Part 4. The Real El Dorado. How Science Finally Vindicates the Myth.
And here is the incredible twist that makes this whole story so fascinating. Science eventually proved the myth right. Thanks to modern technology and decades of archaeological work, we now know that Fawcett and those earliest Spanish accounts from the 1500s were absolutely right all along. But how? Well, it turns out the real treasure of the Amazon wasn't shiny metal at all. It was dirt. Specifically, terra preta, or black earth. This is an ingenious, human-engineered soil created by indigenous Amazonians. By mixing the poor, yellow jungle earth with charcoal, organic waste, pottery shards, and bone, they transformed it into an absolute agricultural miracle. This man-made supersoil produced incredibly high yields, completely bypassing the limitations of that harsh jungle environment.
Enabled by this incredible supersoil, massive societies thrived. Modern LiDAR scans, which basically shoot lasers from airplanes down through the jungle canopy, are now revealing exactly what the trees have hidden for centuries. We are finding vast, incredibly complex urban networks. We're talking interconnected populations of 50,000 people or more. Towns built around huge 150-meter-wide central plazas. Extensive defensive moats, raised causeways acting as complex highway networks, and even conical pyramids over 60 feet tall. These were sprawling, highly engineered societies that rivaled the size of major European cities in the 1500s.
So you're probably wondering, where did they all go? Tragically, the answer is 95%. These incredible societies weren't swallowed by magic, and they didn't just vanish into thin air. They were decimated. Up to 95% of their populations were wiped out by diseases brought over by the very European conquistadors who were tearing through the jungles searching for a mythical city of gold. Without the people to maintain them, the cities were just abandoned, and the jungle quickly took the land right back. Which brings us right back to Percy Fawcett. That the cities exist, I know. Fawcett vanished in 1925, trying to prove what we only now, almost a full century later, can confirm with lasers from space. He wasn't crazy. Those magnificent, sustainable, highly organized cities were real the whole time. He just didn't live long enough to see the scientific proof. And this leaves us with a really profound question. If we completely overlooked an agricultural miracle like terra preta for 500 years because of our blind pursuit of shiny wealth, what other ancient sustainable secrets are just waiting to be rediscovered? As modern science looks at reproducing terra preta today to revolutionize global farming and feed millions, we really have to ask ourselves, what other world-changing indigenous technologies have we simply walked right past? It's a fascinating thought to chew on. Thanks for joining me for today's deep dive, and keep questioning what you think you know.